Charles Dickens was a man apart and a respected fellow among his peers, but his brilliance weighed him down, just like any great man. The golden boy of literature became more of a facade than a reality. His most recent books flopped, and he was losing his sense of identity. And to make matters worse, Christmas was around the corner, and his family had expectations. Dickens was an obsessive genius. He believed there was a path out of this rut. He just needed to figure it out. One evening, as he walked around his home, he heard a brilliant Christmas story, one told by him made to his children. He thought, I could write a Christmas story nobody had ever heard. But that wasn't the hard part. He had only 6 weeks before Christmas to finish the story, and no publisher in their right mind will fund this project. He somehow convinced people he owed to give him more money, but he could not convince the characters to do what he said. The characters were living, breathing humans outside his imagination. He connected with these characters in a way he could never connect with people, even his wife. These characters argued with him, haunted him, and forced him to face his inner demons. But just like his main character, Scrooge, he was afraid to deal with the reality of his grief, and the book struggled for it. At the tender age of 11, his father left him for dead as they were extremely poor, having to work in a factory he detested. As he wrote the book, his father came for an unexpected visit, somehow a blessing in disguise. He never could reconcile the character of Scrooge because he did not believe in change. He was a man of ice with a cold-blooded heart, and he subconsciously created Scrooge with the bad parts of himself. Everyone who read the draft of his book thought it best that Scrooge had the capacity for change, but Dickens hated the idea. If Scrooge could change, so could he. As the days went by and the deadline drew near, he decided to visit the factory, as all his nightmares were centered around that place. It was an intense battle with his imagination and Scrooge, as he finally realized Scrooge wasn't the tough man he created him to be. Deep down, Scrooge was as scared as he was, acting nonchalant to avoid his ultimate fear. But when pushed to the brink of death, he caved and showed his true heart, and Dickens finally understood. He went back home, knowing exactly how to finish the story. He gasped for air as the story came to an end, but somehow his life had just begun. He went on an apology tour to everyone he's hurt, especially his wife, and finally forgave his father, letting go of the pain he caused him. The Christmas Carol was finally published in 1843 and changed how we view Christmas forever. In the 1800s, Christmas had lost its edge. It was just another holiday with no meaning. But throughout England and beyond, Christmas was revived. There was more celebrations than usual. Somehow, on his path to reinventing himself, he changed Christmas forever. The movie ends with him celebrating Christmas with his close-knit family, the way it's supposed to be celebrated. Moral of the story: